But if you're an anime fan, you know what we're talking about. Like, just everything is animated perfectly. And you don't always get that with anime. You just don't. You know what I mean? So the fact that we get everything beautifully animated, it's just such a treat. Studio Bind is doing such a good job with this series. What did you think of this week's episode of Jobless Germs?
Oh, there's some good stuff, man. Some good stuff. You know, there's just so many nice little additions to the anime that, you know, it's also, you know, I haven't reread an anime and manga in a little while, but I just love that beginning when he's just like,
Yes.
oh, you know, check out this apartment. This apartment, you know, it's got a
Rent
great
free.
view. Got a nice bathroom, a nice sturdy bars here. It's
We
like,
got security.
yeah,
We got security here.
Like that was just a nice little moment.
And you can't beat the price. It's free. You can't beat that price. That was so good. And the voice actor is really good. Like the older Rudeus, he does a good job with that. He does a really good job with that.
Yeah, and that was just like when I saw that, I'm like, oh yeah, we're back in it. We're back in the good stuff. This is the good stuff I'm watching for. Like, you know, there's a lot of good shows. There's a lot of shows like I read it and I'm like, okay, I just want to see how it looks in the anime. You know, like, oh, maybe let's see how they did that in the anime. It's like, oh, it's like exactly how I expected. But this is like, okay, I was already pretty hyped, and it takes it that little extra notch. You know, a little extra notch that only the anime could give me. You know.
Yep.
So I was just really happy with this episode, as well, I guess with every episode, but that's just that's just how good they're doing of a job. You know, I can't really complain. You know, whenever they fuck up, we'll let you know. But they're doing a great job. I'm really loving what they're doing here, and the content was fire. What are your thoughts on this?
Oh, we're back to fangirling again. You know, because we have to. Yeah, and you know what else the anime gives you that the manga can't? Those gorgeous ass fight scenes in this episode. This episode might have the best fight scenes yet, honestly, and that's like it might be tied with that one scene with Ghislaine when she saved Rudeus that one time in season 1.
Mm-hmm.
This might be like tied with that, but damn, there was some really nice Sakuga in this episode. The fight scenes, and I would like, I'm a mad lad. Like, I'll pause my shit, rewind it, watch it again, rewind it, watch it again, just so I get it. You know what I mean? Because everything's moving quick. I'll watch this shit frame by frame, and it's still good. It's still good. You know, I'm like, wait, was that really that good? Yep, that was beautiful. So, yeah, let's talk about. You want to get into the actual content of the episode? Basically, Rudeus is trapped by the Beast People, and shenanigans ensue. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's just all naked in his prison cell. You know, he's counting the days. You know, marking them down, and the days just keep going by and by. And you know, and then eventually, he's like, some other guy comes in, and he's like, "Hey, I'm the one that's been here first. I've been here the longest, so you got to follow my rule here."
Yeah, and he calls him. What did he call him? What did he call him? Master or like leader or something like that? Like he looked up to him. This new cellmate really looked up to Rudeus, which I thought was funny as hell.
Especially, you know, a naked little child, you know, just sitting. That was pretty funny. And then they're like, okay, it's time to escape. We're escaping tonight. And then it's like, wait, where's the guards? It's like, wait a second.
Yeah. And the whole place is on fire. That's the part where I rewinded and when they broke out, because it was just like so fluid, just beautiful animation. And like his little cell caught on fire and it's falling down. Like, again, it sounds so stupid when we talk about this shit. But if you're an anime fan, you know what we're talking about. Like, just everything is animated perfectly. And you don't always get that with anime. You just don't. You know what I mean? So the fact that we get everything beautifully animated, it's just such a treat. Studio Bind is doing such a good job with this series. So yeah, basically the village gets taken over by
the smugglers, the kidnappers.
Hide your wives, hide your kids. We got the smugglers and the kidnappers here, and Rudeus. This shows you that he's turning into a good person. He's like, you know what, I could leave this shit behind, but I won't. I'll try and stay and fight for them. And yeah, I mean, long story short. Oh, we get the dog. We get that wolf, that big ass dog again. Whatever. That was cool to see. But basically, long story short, he saves the day with you know other people as well. and the village realizes that they fucked up. So that's cool. And then he was waiting for Roxy and Ruijerd, and then they show up at the end, which is cool. So this is kind of like a one-off episode, but I'm happy with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you saw a little bit of him trying to use his newfound foresight eye, and then it didn't work out super well. He got like stabbed in the leg, whatever. But
which is good because it's not an ass pull. He's still learning, which is good. Everything about the show, so good.
Because even if you can see in the future, sometimes you can't dodge out of it. Which was it's a good show in here. And then his kind of mental like holding himself back is like, I don't want to kill this. I don't want to kill people.
Yep.
He's not some heartless kind of just MC. It's like, he was a bad guy, so I killed him. But like even Rudy's like, this is a bad guy, but like that's killing a human. I don't want to just kill a guy just because I can kill a guy. But he had to do what he had to do.
Yeah, and like I said, the action was phenomenal. I wish that there was kind of a connection between the Beast people and like just Lane. Like maybe Rudy could have realized that, or like, oh, that's kind of like what they did with Roxy when he visited her town. But that's not, that's just me. That's just me.
That'd be a little bit too coincidental. It'd be like
probably.
Yeah. Probably more than one tribe of beast people, but but it's nice. I like how they built up the town as well. Well, in the OP.
Yes.
When they're playing.
Was that a different song, by the way? Was that a new song this week, or was that the same old song?
It felt like the OP. It might.
Did it?
It was good. It was nice music. So it's kind of
whatever it was. It's beautiful. I really like how they do the openings in the show, and even the ending is fantastic too. I think that like this was kind of a one-off, right? But it had to be, because if you kind of dragged this into next week, it would have felt a little bit like you're dragging it out too much. So it felt fast-paced, but not so much fast-paced that it's like it's too fast and it feels off. Like the pacing is still fine, everything is still fine with the show. Beautiful. And then obviously we have to talk about. I don't remember if it was after the ED or right before or whatever.
It was the last.
Go ahead, talk about it. Because I was like, oh shit, they're gonna. Yeah. And they did it. They actually did it. They committed to it. So talk about it.
Yeah. So we flash back to not flash. Oh, just we move away from the beast, the demon world. Now we go back to the town where we started on, and we see the Gramps. He's in trial. They're all like, oh, you're the you failed to help from this mana crisis that happened when everyone teleported, so you're gonna to get executed and lop off his head.
Gonzo.
He's like, oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I like when shows get ballsy like that, because you know how like a lot of shows are afraid to kill off characters. When a show can kill off characters, it just shows me like it's good storytelling. You know what I mean? Like if we're to take this world as it is, yeah, that could likely happen. You know what I mean? Like having an asshole
has to take responsibility for this.
Exactly, yeah. And he's the leader, right? So he has to take responsibility. This transported a lot of people and fucked up a lot of stuff, right? So having an ass pull where someone comes in and saves him at the end of the day, or you know what I mean? Like all the typical tropes we see, those are fine. But again, it's just good storytelling here. This show isn't afraid to kill off characters when it serves the story, and that serves the story. You know what I mean? So the fact that they actually did execute him, and we didn't really see it, but I assume just from talking to you that like that actually did happen.
Well, you see his head.
You see it in a distance. Yeah, but they're like kind of covered in shadow, so I didn't know. But I assume that he died, right? So the fact that they were able to commit to that is good. Good storytelling. They're not afraid to kill off characters when they have to, and it's Mushoku Tensei, man.
And not needlessly. Those are it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, it serves the story. It serves the story. And it also builds tension.
If you're just killing people just left and right, it's like, oh, well, that's kind of that's fucked up just to do it, for
no reason. Yeah, and it serves the story because it builds tension back home. So when they ever do make it back home, or it just builds another layer. You know what I mean? It seems since they teleported and transported that everything back home is kind of, no longer relevant, but they're tying it back in, which is what a good story would do. That's what a good story would do. So. Yeah, final thoughts for this week's episode of Jobless Germs.
Fire. 10 out of 10 as always. You know, we do fanboy over this show all the time, but that's just because the episodes are good. If something was wrong, we would let you know. We would let you know, but there's nothing that's really like come out to us and like, that's weird. Like the animation looked weird there. It's like, no, they've been doing a bang up job. I can't really complain what they've been giving us and how they're treating the story with respect. They're not just skipping over arcs. They're not just not showing random scenes. They're kind of they're expanding on characters that were kind of like in the side a little bit. And it's like, we're kind of getting to know everyone. They're not just being like, oh, it's that person, oh, this is that person, oh, next episode, oh, here's 5 more people. It's like, oh, I haven't known those people before. It's like, oh, don't worry about them. This show just kind of builds up each character.
Well, it's good pacing. Yeah. It's good pacing, like I said. This one felt fast, but again, they had to do it for one episode. It makes sense. It's kind of like Rudy's adventure being trapped by the beast people. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I mean, this is just our opinion, but I assume that you would agree with this. But if you have any complaints with this adaptation, you're probably just being picky. Like, the animation is A1. The voice actors are great. The music is great. The pacing is fine. I mean, I don't really have any complaints with this yet. I mean, where are the complaints with this show? And not everyone's watching it. A lot of people got turned off by the first season because of, let's just say, Rudeus's personality, right? And he is kind of a scumbag, right? We understand that, but that's part of the story. That's part of his character. But yeah, I mean, I don't really think we have any complaints at this point. I think it's been a solid journey so far, and it's doing everything you could have ever asked it to do, this adaptation. So, guys and gals, the weebs out there, for those of you who are watching Mushoku Tensei, please comment down below what you think of this week's episode and this adaptation as a whole. We're really enjoying it so much. So.